Hello and welcome to this episode of the AI Show. This is Seth Juarez coming to you from the GitHub Club. Look at that. We are in business. How's it going, my friends? It's so good to be here. Where is everybody coming from? Tell me who you are and what's going on and where you're from right in the chat. I'm just looking right over here. It looks like we have a group of people here. Oh, yeah. Function calling. I didn't get that to work, did I? Let's try that again. By the way, what am I referencing? Hope you get back to function calling part 4 and address function calling. Yeah, I'll look at it. I'll try to make it work online. If it doesn't work, we'll get back to it. Function calling is good. I don't know, man. And whoa, man, that are listening. Again, this is my opinion. I just don't like any unevaluated calls to LLMs. That's all. All right, so let's get to where everybody's coming from. Hello from Kansas City. There's a really good place. I don't know if it's Kansas. I think it's in Kansas City, where there's barbecue in like a gas station, and you line up and go. It's delicious, absolutely delicioso, as Dora the Explorer would say. Hello from Portugal. Welcome. Let's get to the AI. Let's do that. Absolutely. Nepal. Welcome. It must be late there. Like midnight? No. 8? I don't know. You tell me. Argentina. Bienvenidos. 5 Sharp. Welcome. You are from India. Welcome. Sumesh from India. We are so glad that you're here. From Houston, South Africa, Norway. These are all wonderful places. It's not 9:10 p.m. Okay. Okay. Hello from the great state of New Hampshire. Oh, Toronto, Canada. Welcome from Canada. It's not 9:10 p.m. That's what's gonna. Thank you. Okay. Sweden, India. The cool thing about India is there's so many cool languages there. Like I went to Bengaluru once. I landed, and the guy in the taxi was like, "I'm like, what language? I love languages." And he was like, "I was like, what language do you speak here?" And he was like, "Well, it depends. If you're over there, you speak this one. If you're here, you speak Kannada. If you're here, you speak." And I was like, "How many do you know?" He's like, 2 or 3." Yeah. So you're right about this one. In this particular case, it has been trained on function calling. Agent-like chains. I don't know. I'll tell you. I'll show you. Morocco. I've been to Morocco. Beautiful place. Welcome. All right. So today, let's get our whiteboard out. Let's see. How do I do that? Share my screen. And I always forget how to do everything. Not the window. The entire screen. Here. Let's share this entire screen. Here we go. Boom. Boom. Let's get my tablet out. I bought this over the pandemic. That was a harrowing couple of years, wasn't it? So today, I'm going to try one more time to get function calling to work. Briefly. Because you asked for it. I just couldn't get it to work. I don't know why. But yes, you are right. It was trained on function calling, and so it's been refined. Now the next thing is I don't think we've talked about evaluation as much, and I want to really get into evaluation. Yeah, that's right. Joe's KC. Here, let me put my face over here. Joe's KC. By the way, I'm the kind of guy that's like, I'll speak dogmatically, but if you are like, no, Seth, I saw this, I only speak dogmatically so there's clarity in what I'm thinking, you know? I just want people to be clear about how I think. Now, if it's wrong, I can be wrong too. I can totally be wrong. I mean, I have kids. I'm always wrong. Always wrong. I'm going to leave the background music just a little bit lower because some have told me that it makes it less accessible, and I want to be as accessible as possible. So we'll look at evaluation, prompt evaluation, specifically how to do prompt eval. And then we'll do some questions, some cues. I'll show you what we've been working on so far. I'll try function calling. Let me try the function calling thing on online. Okay, so this is where we're at. Thank you. Adam also loves function calling. I think it's a good idea. I'm not gonna lie. I tried some stuff with semantic kernel the other day, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. It's just that it didn't work all the time. And so you got to put some try except in there. Okay, so let's do something real quick with functional. By the way, if you want to talk to me or ask questions, you can go to the machine learning and ML ops community discussion over at GitHub. If you go to GitHub community, I try to answer these whenever I can. Oh, here's one. Let's answer this one. I have a oh man, I have a question of a more general character. From a conceptual point of view, prompt flow looks great and looks like a nice way in automating the prompt engineering process. How then is prompt flow is impacting Azure web application that's targeting a more general audience? In other words, wow to the orchestration, a transition from prompt flow to web deployment that consumes. Yes, great question. What I'm understanding is like, how does this integrate? How does this stuff integrate with like? Here, I'll make it bigger. How does this stuff integrate with like web apps? The way prompt. Let's do this. A prompt. Prompt flows are deployed as endpoints. Think of them as wrapped open AI calls with special functionality defined in a graph. Graph. DAG to be specific. So, in the case of web apps, these become another resource that can be called used. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. There you go. Boom. Okay, so there's another question that I just answered. Here's a why is this so small? I think I like it at 125. But yeah, just go over here. We'll try to answer questions. Me and Cassie are doing this. Okay. So Adam is saying, getting really good results with structured output JSON and function calling, not using prompt flow, but just my Azure OpenAI Python code. Okay. Okay. So if it's working for you, then maybe we should do a thing. Okay. So let me go to prompt flow in general. This is the online version. There's an online version where you can do stuff. And if you look at the online version closely, initially, here, let me move my face down so there's more screen. Initially, this was all online. And then we moved to having an extension so you can run these things, locally. So you're looking at this prompt flow. It's basically the same one as before. We've added some settings because we heard some feedback that it was getting a little cluttered on the left side. So now when you go to each of the nodes, you'll just see the node that's active, which is nice. So there you go. There's the inputs. But if none of them are active, you can see that it just basically, well, this one's active, but you can look at all of them this way. And this, I think, is a lot nicer because you can start to see, what's going on. Okay. So let's go see if we can't try function calling. In OpenAI. Let's test this out. Function calling, Azure OpenAI. Okay. OpenAI. Okay, here we go. Function calling. Using function calling. These are the functions. I wonder if these are just available in the portal here. So let's go to Azure OpenAI here and let's open it up. Go to Le Chat Playground. So it's not available here. You have to call it directly. So let's go over here and let's make a new prompt flow. So we're going to just do a standard prompt flow and we're going to say function calling flow. Okay. Create. So this is just going to create an empty prompt flow. And by the way, these things when they're created online now, there's files associated with them here. So I know maybe some of you don't know about Azure ML. So this runs on top of Azure ML, and on Azure ML we have an area with notebooks where everyone that has access to the Azure Machine Learning Workspace, is in here. So I work with a lot of people, right? And so this is Microsoft's, where we test stuff, kind of thing. So when we go to SE Juarez, you're going to see prompt flow, and in here is where actually the prompt flows live. Do you see that? So now when I go to function calling, that's this thing that you're seeing here, function calling. So if I go back to prompt flow, there's this thing right here that you're seeing. That's what this is. So they're actual files. So let me do this. Let me move this out of the way. It looks like this is calling the LLM. Okay, this is just doing an echo. So I'm going to delete this because we don't need this. This LLM looks like I need a connection. So let's connect it to my, let's do GPT-3.5 Turbo. And here's the function calling. So let's see what this looks like here. So let's go here and let's just take the functions that they gave us, right? These are the functions. We don't need this here. We don't need. Okay, so let's put that in there and let's hit save. Now I'm not sure what the prompt should be. Okay. 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 Cool. 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 So this is going to be, I think, the input here, and so we'll just say question here, and then the output. We'll take this out. We'll just say result here, and then let's take the it's called joke. Let's do LLM function call. Okay, and then here we'll take this out, and then we'll put the output here. So now we're just trying to do this. I don't know. Let's see what the system call is. Yeah, so I think the way it's currently built, just to answer your question, because you're right, one of the issues from last week was to figure out where the file is. Though there it's in the case of the way it was set up, it's saved directly inside of the YAML file for the DAG. And so we couldn't get that to work. So I'm going to try to get it to work here, and then we'll go from there. So let's put myself back down so there's more space. The result from the function call. Okay. So function call is available 2020 preview, blah, 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 613. Oh, that's the other thing. So let's make sure I have the right version. So GPT 3.5. So let's go to deployments. I have version 0301. Okay, so we need to do another deployment here of GPT 3.5 Turbo 16K. Oh, Darwin, y'all are building something? I want to see. That sounds fun. Like, I'd love to do shows where people are building cool stuff and we just like hang out and talk about cool stuff. So we need 3.5 Turbo 16K. Let's call this 3.5 Turbo 16K. Okay, so now I have this. So 613. So that was the one problem I think maybe we had last time. So let's change this now to well, we might have to refresh this somehow. There it is. GPT-5. Okay, so now we have the right thing. Cool. To use function calling with a chat completion, you need to include two new properties in request: functions and function call. You can include one or more functions in your request. Keep in mind the functions are injected into the system message under the hood, so they count against your token usage, of course. When functions are provided by default, the function call will be set to auto, and the model will decide whether or not a function will be called. Alternatively, you can set function call to parameter name, insert function name to force the API to call a specific function, or you can set the parameter none to prevent. So, okay, I'm going to go with auto for now. Function calling. So we did that, and we're going to just say auto. Okay. Now let's look at how we should call this. So the user content is this. Okay, so we have that. So this is that would be the question. So let's go over here and let's do question. Okay. The system message. I wonder what they have for the system message. Did they change the system message at all? No. Okay, so we'll try auto now, but let's see. Okay. So I don't see. So let's just say you are an AI assistant, helps with booking vacations. Okay, so that's the system message. We'll put that there, and we have the user message. So let's save this here. What's going on here? Yeah. Okay. So let's try this and see what happens. So we'll just run it. Okay. Runtime is required for flow or validating parsing. Please create a. Oh, geez, I'm so dumb. Oh my gosh. So this machine, the Dark Lord himself, so stupid. So I this machine, to save costs, shuts down every night at 6 p.m. Come rain or shine. I might be in the middle of a demo. Um, uh, let's see here. Someone's asking a question. Привет, почему вина 11 глючит, а вы хотите выпускать 20? I don't know what that means. Why? Hello. Why Vinda 11 glutchit? I don't know. Hope they're not making me swear in like Russian. Here, I'm going to translate this. Let's see what we got here. Oops. By the way, I'm not stalling. I'm just waiting for this thing to start. Okay. Why is Windows 11 buggy? And do you want to release 12? So I'll answer that question on behalf of all software engineers in the universe. If it weren't for users, all of our software would work perfectly. So to answer in the native tongue, я не знаю. И это правда. All right. There you go. And you're wondering, like, how do I even speak Russian? Here's another question. Before running the function, you might want to check how you copied it, as there is a mismatch. Okay, cool. Thank you. Look at this. What a bunch of friendly wonder. Looks like it started. So let's go to prompt flow. Man, there you go. Prompt flow latest. Okay. Okay, so let's go to this function calling thing. Someone said I had a mismatch. You are correct, eagle-eyed viewer. Wonderful. Thank you, Tim. That's Tim saving the day. We would have looked at this for hours and been like, I just don't know what's happening.
What's happening? I don't know. I can't fix it.
Have you checked the end brace, Seth?
No, Tim, I haven't. Let me take it. Oh.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. All right, so let's run it now and see what happens. It's not ready. I have to wait. So, for those of you wondering what the heck is going on, let me go back to my notebooks here. Oh, no, we got to save this because we put Tim's stuff in there that made it work. So what happens is the way this stuff works is this thing shows up, and then there's a compute environment that has these things. So Docker PS. These are all my prompt flow environments. Do you see that? So these prompt flow environments are basically, I may have to rebuild this. So when you're looking at this stuff, what this is this has runtimes for each of the prompt flow runtime. So they're basically Docker containers, and we Docker exec inside of them. That's why you can create your own custom environments. So that's what you're seeing here. And what's happening is some of these Docker environments need to get started. And if they're not started, then it looks like it's not running. That's why we got that error. So let's go back over here. This, by the way, is not an issue locally because you're just running in the local context of the virtual environment in this case. As you can see, well, I guess it's not in here, but it's the virtual environment. And the way is in Visual Studio Code, this thing shows you. Oh, my dumb face is in the way. Gosh, Seth, how do I get? Let me move over. Okay, I think you saw it. Okay. All right, so let's go back here. And now that we've done this, let's try it now. Okay. Okay. Empty input question at step 9. Okay, you're right. The reason why this is empty is because I need to go like this. Whoopsie daisy. Okay, so let's run it again. And in this case, hopefully it'll do the right thing. Okay, so the flow runtime is not ready. Enable. Jeez. Oh. The runtime's not ready, so we'll give it a second. The runtime sometimes takes its sweet time, but only when I'm doing a live show. These are the runtimes, by the way. I have a couple running. You can see they're all running inside of this VM, Sauron. And there's runtime. There's this one. There's this one. This one. V10. Oh, runtime V10. Let's see if that one is on. So let's go back to my function calling thing. V10. Okay. Are you ready now to do the work? That's the one thing I always forget to do is turn on the runtimes. It's because I cost saving. Okay, it's completed. Cost saving measures here have done that. So let's take a look at what the output is. And the way you look at outputs is you just hit view outputs. And here you go. Okay. So it worked. Now let's try to run this locally because I think we want to did we have like a folder that has I don't want to give away all the goods of the secrets that I have. Was there like a function calling funcpf? Here we go. Funcpf. We want the funk. No, this is not. Wow. I don't even know what this is doing. I probably shouldn't even say. Let's make a new folder. So open folder, and let's create a new function calling. We're making a new prompt flow from scratch to do function calling locally. So the first thing we're going to do here is, I know we totally derailed the show, but this is I promised I would make it work. So I made it work up there. Okay, so Python minus m vemb. Oh, oops. Python Python minus m vemb. So we got to make our virtual environment. Yes, of course. Thank you for being so helpful. Visual Studio Code. What are you angry about here? What's going on? Oh, okay. So let's relaunch. Relaunch. Jeez. Vemb. Okay. Alrighty. Now what we want to do is we want to do a new file, requirements.txt, and then we're going to do prompt flow tools. Okay, look at that. It's like, wait a minute, Seth. Python.exe. Let's upgrade our pips. Boop. Let's go pips. There you go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to say pip install -r requirements.txt. Beep, boop. That's how I start prompt flow projects. Let me move this over so my face is in the right spot. There you go. Okay, so that's how I start prompt flow projects in general, because it makes more sense. Once you have prompt flow installed, I'll give it a second. This thing will light up. All right, so let's look at some questions. What do we got? Привет. Привет. Как дела? So I took Russian for 1 year in high school. It was awesome. Here's prompt flow. It says it's not installed, but it is. See, check. And then what you do is to start a prompt flow is you say new flow in this directory. I'm just going to do an empty flow. But notice there's a couple of kinds. By the way, this thing is updated all the time because it's new. Nuevo. And by the way, keep the questions coming. So I'm just going to make a new flow in this directory. We'll do an empty flow. And once you do that, if you have prompt flow installed, oh, geez, it's saying it's not installed. No. There you go. Now it's happy. Please, there you go. Now it's happy. It just had to think about it. So there is some settings now that you can actually set. So let's go to preferences and settings, and prompt flow has some settings that you can set now. Like, for example, remember how before there was there's a lot of stuff going on over here. Now in the settings you can change the node display to be hidden or title only, to show only the nodes you're currently working on. So I set title. You can also do code side by side. I set that off because it's just, I don't know, there's a lot. So this is another settings that now you can do locally. All right, so let's get some inputs going. And the question we have here, question is the question from over here. So we're going from cloud to local. So find beachfront hotels. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add an LLM tool. By the way, another show I should do is there's a way to create custom tools here that do stuff for you. Maybe we should devote a show to showing you how to do that. I spend a lot of time making custom tools for other people right now, and I'd love for everyone to make custom tools. So let's do an LLM call. Yeah, we'll call it that. We'll say a new file here for the prompt. We're going to take ISIS here. We're going to take the chat model, and then we'll take the, oh shoot, maybe it's the completion. No, chat. Oh, there it is. There's GPT-3 3.5 Turbo. And then the function calling. Oh, wow. Looks like there's an edit in file now. Oh, look at that. I don't think it is what I think it is. So let's go to this thing. And let's edit this here. And let's take this. And let's put it in here. So for clarity, once I save it, Control S, it saved it, right? But I want you to see where it's actually putting it, though. It's putting it in the DAG. I don't know if I like this. I think I said this last time, but I don't know if I like this. I'd prefer it to be in its own file. But maybe this is something we can fix with a custom tool. Just do a function calling, LLM function call, and then we can add its own file, etc. Okay, so let's go to this thing. And let's change this to this. Oh, this already set up for me. Did I make this a chat? Did I make this a chat thing? No, it's not a chat thing. So I don't need to have all that stuff. So this can go away. And nice. So now when we're here, there you go. The question comes here. And then in the output, we're going to add a result. And the result's going to be this thing. Okay, so in theory, this should work. I don't know what happened last time. I think I was using the wrong model or something. But maybe a couple of days of just trying stuff out. Okay, so here we go. This is the prompt flow running. Okay, so what is it saying? Function calling has not been supported in stream mode yet. Okay, so I can fix this. The other thing that I did not do is in function calling, there should have been an anything, right? I didn't see the anything. So I'm going to fix this just by by cheating. So we're going to put a Python tool. Process, new file. And why does this have a tool in there? So we'll take the input from this thing, and the output instead is going to be the output from the processing. Very good. So let's take this thing, auto layout, and let's go to process.py, and then let's just return the input. This will force it to not have it. So the way that, because this supports streaming, this forces it to not be a streaming thing, because otherwise it would have to return a generator of string, and that's why it's not doing it. So let's try running this again and see if this will fix it, because this forces it to not stream. There you go. So now it works. I wish to make this work, there'd be a way to just force it. But now it's working. I mean, you can see it here. The good news here. The good news, my friends. Oops, dang it! What did I do that for? Oh, good, it's still there. The good news, friends, is that you're going to have to parse this anyways, and so until we get that part fixed, my sense is that you're going to have to do some kind of post processing. So we made it work. Thank you. Thank you. I kind of did a little hacky thing. But what this did is it forced it to run synchronously. Otherwise, this thing wouldn't work. The other thing that's concerning to me is in function. Let's see. No, I don't. Oh, in this case, it's any is here is what we should put. And now when we run it, what? Function call parameter any is invalid. Here's a. Oh, I see. It needs to be. It's like extra under the hood, so it would be name colon any. Let's try it again. Tell us what you got. This is not helpful. All right, looks like that's not the right thing. So let's go back to this thing. Let's take this function call thing out. I thought we were supposed to put any in there, but looks like this isn't in there. You know what we could do on another show is I could show you how to create a custom way of doing this, which would be fun, I think. But looks like if I leave that empty, put the functions in there, it does kind of the right thing. So just as a reminder, a couple of issues that we found. Number one, this isn't. I'm not sure what's going on here, but we'll have to fix that. I'm not sure I like the inline. I don't know if I like this inline. I don't know, just me. And then the other thing is that this can't be streamed. So that's why I kind of put this in there for now. Okay, so does that work? All right, thoughts about this? So you can do it. It's just not. I don't know. I don't like this. I don't like this in here. I wish it was a separate file. You know what I'm saying? Or what we could do is we could read in have a Python object that's a class and just read all the methods. You know what I'm saying? Or just read all the methods in a Python file. That would be cooler. Maybe I should make maybe I should make maybe I should make I don't know. I should make a custom tool that puts these together. That does that. That reads like a Python file and then puts all the functions. What do you think? Does that work? because then I can just, it can be pure code based. I like that. I don't know. I think I like that. I might do that. Maybe for our next show, I'll show you how to wrap or how to create a custom tool. And what we'll do is we'll give it a Python file that it reads, and then it just, enumerates all the functions from that. Let's see, some comments here. Agreed. Saving in the DAG is not so great, and pasting in the small text box also. Yeah, that's not so great. But it seems to work. It works. So you'll have something, and as we make this better, obviously, I bet there's a better way to do this. I'll ask the team. I promise I'd ask them before, but then everybody kept bothering me with other things. All right, we got about 20 minutes left, so I thought we'd take a look at evaluation. So we did this. Look at us. Look at us go. Check. I couldn't find the button. Let me move this forward. There you go. Check. Yay! Okay. Now let's do some evaluation. So let's go to PromptFlow Online here, because these are my models, by the way, that I have. I'm glad I figured this out, because I think last time we had the wrong version of the model, and that messed us up too. Okay, so let's go to, we did this. Oh, thank you for finally starting, Sauron. Gosh, you'd think maybe he doesn't have his ring yet. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right about this. So I gotta write it down. Like, I'm so old. I'm like, hey, let me get a pen. Hold on, I gotta answer this. I have like important people asking me for stuff. Hold on. Okay. Okay, I can do that. All right. So let me talk a little bit about evaluation. So the idea is, you want to run this stuff a lot, and you got to make sure that it works. Here, let me move my face so that we're in line. We got to make sure this stuff works. I don't like the idea of having any LLM call that's not evaluated just out there in the wild, because it's going to cause a problem for you. You want to be able to, because it'll make mistakes, and just like your code that's out in the wild has a bug or whatever, it's the same thing here. Like, if you're expecting infallibility, then you got another thing coming. Let's be honest with you. I want to be honest with you. So the best thing to do is have a way to do automated testing, both as you work on this thing, and then as you deploy. So the way that we test these things is you do something called a batch run. So what a batch run is for me, so let me open Contoso Trek here, is you have a bunch of questions that you want to look at and see, is it doing the right thing? Okay, and then notice it has a chat history. In this case, you remember that the inputs to this particular thing is a chat history, a question, and a customer ID. Right? Those are the three things that are coming in. And so when you want to write some tests, then invariably you need to have the three things: the chat history, the question, and the customer ID. So this is just a set of 5 things we want to run against the prompt flow. So the way to do that is you can create something called a batch run. So let's see. So the other thing that we do, and I don't know if I like this all the way, but we have this notion of variants. A variant will have is basically 2 different prompts that you're testing against each other. So this particular prompt has a safety section, and this prompt does not. So we want to test them against each other. So a batch run is just that. So I'm just going to do a batch run. I'm just going to take the Contoso chat store test. I think this is the same thing I just showed you, right? Let's hit next. And I'm just going to bulk test it. Just going to bulk test it here and hit next. And then submit. And so what this bulk test does is this will run through. Oh, jeez. What's going on now? Oh, did I mess something up? Let me see. LM response.output. And then retrieve documents. Okay. Let's see what's going on here, because this is weird. Man, we are just not having a good day, are we? All right, so let's tell me about your jackets. Let's see what's going on. Give it a little test here. Sydney. If you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so this works. So let's go do a batch run here. And next, these are all mapping up. Next, and then submit. There must be bad flow definition. Fail to parse flow definition. Something's not right here. Maybe hit save because we know it worked. And if it didn't, I'll just show you some of the other tests that I did, which is weird. This is weird. Why the things aren't working? ¿Por qué no funciona? All right, I'll just have to show you some batch runs. So here's some batch runs that I've already run. I don't know why the other ones aren't working. I ran these just a couple days ago. Oh, no, September 7th? Good grief, that's a long time ago. I didn't click bulk test. I didn't click bulk test. Okay, I'll try again. Let me try again. Because I don't know what. Batch run. Next. So I didn't do this, but I didn't want to. So I wanted to show you this afterwards. But this should not cause a problem at all. Inputs, chat history, default 0, outputs, answer. Oh. Yeah, the chat history has a problem. Okay. I think I know what's going on. Save. So the chat history is empty now. Now let's run it and see if this works. And if this works, I'll tell you what happened. Okay, so I think it's running now. Great. So what happened was the chat history here in the DAG had issues with it. That's why. So I cleared that out, and then now it works. So if we go to the run list, that was a dumb error. That's okay. So now you can see this thing is running across. Oh, that's not how I wanted to show it. Now you can see this thing is running. Here's the visualization. You can see it's completed, etc. You can see each of the things. So, for example, tell me about your hiking jackets. And if you look here, wow, this is not helpful. Why is this so unhelpful? Let me go to the other UI here. View latest batch runs. There you go. So this is the thing that we have. You can see it's like, hi, Sarah. Hi, Seth. We do have climbing gear available based on your previous purchases of the blah, 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 blah. I would recommend the blah, 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 blah. So this is very good. But then I'm also returning the context. The context is like, what documents did it use to make sense of this? So you can see that in there. So now let's go to overview. And what you can do with this is you can actually Here, let me go here to the runs. What you can do is you can run evaluations over this thing. And this is the important bit. So, and this is, there's some confusion sometimes with this. Here, let me bring my chalkboard here and tell you what I'm talking about. Oh, I'm pushing the wrong button here. Okay. So, oh, no, we want this. So notice that we have like a file with a bunch of tests. This, you can run the prompt flow, and then what it will return is the questions, right? And then the actual output, right? Oh, geez. I want it to be red. What? Why are we? Huh? Okay. And the actual answers, right? And what we want to do is we want to do some kind of evaluation over these things to return like, are we doing good, right? So I've done this first part already. This is the bulk run that we just did. Okay. So now let's go back. Let's go back and let's run an evaluation over this thing to see how well it does. So notice that there's a couple of ways to do evaluations. You can have like a ground truth answer in your test set, like it needs to sound like this, or this is the right answer, like the number 10 or something. Or you can do testing on the internal structure of what was fetched and the prompt itself. That's what we're going to do because we don't have the answer. So notice here that I'm going to use something called groundedness evaluation. The groundedness evaluation allows us to test how grounded is the answer in the question. Oh, I don't have a model here, so let's use this one. Okay, we'll use GPT-4. So how grounded is the answer in the context that you fetched and the question? So remember that I actually returned like the answer and I returned like the documents that it used to do the tests. Sorry, the documents that it fetched to produce the answer. And so you can see here what I'm doing is I'm saying, hey, here's the question, here's the context. It comes from the run, and here's the answer. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit submit. And what this will do is this will go through and score it on a scale of 1 to 5 on how grounded that is. So let's go to runs here. Let's go to the latest run here. So the latest batch run here. You can look at the overview, and then you can see the metrics. There's no metrics yet because it needs to run them. But what you're going to get is you're going to get a dependent run that tests for groundedness. Right? Oh, looks like it already finished. Cool. Let me make sure this is the right one. No, see, this is a flow from 9/2/2023. We want 10/2. So let's go back and let's see if it's still running. View batch runs. Visualize outputs. There you go. So you can actually see this. Oh, so it did finish it. Cool. So now you can see there's a score 5, 5, 5, 5. So it's doing a really good job at this. And that's the cool thing. I don't know if I ran this across all variants, but you totally can. Oh, excuse me. So that's how you test this stuff. And you're probably wondering, like, well, okay, how does it score this thing? So the way it scores it is it actually creates another prompt flow. And this prompt flow takes the question, takes the context and the answer. Do you see that? And then it runs an LLM call to GPT-4 to produce a score. And you're thinking, what? You're using no, I didn't turn this down. You are using GPT-4 to test the output of a GPT-3 thing? Yes. And this is, you can actually see the prompt in here. So I wonder, can I word wrap this? Where's the word? Oh no, it's because it's run already. You are an AI assistant. You will get a definition of an evaluation mechanism. Blah. You will be presented with context and an answer. That context you need to provide the blah. Here's an example. This is a few shot learning. Remainder the return values for each task should be correctly formatted between 1 and 5. Do not repeat the context. Actual task input, context, answer, actual task output, and then the answer comes. The concat results takes all the scores. Oh, sorry. And it concatenates them into an output. And then these things are all aggregated together to get an aggregate result. Here's the output. It gets the concatenated scores of GPT groundedness. This one. And then this does the scores. Pretty cool, huh? So that's how this thing works, which is amazing. So I'll turn this back on. So I want you to like drink that in for a second. It's using evaluations. Evaluations are happening through prompt flows as well, which was like, I remember when I first saw this, I was like, what are you doing? This is weird. And then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, that's genius. Because this prompt flow doesn't just have to be like this. You can actually create your own, right? Here are the evaluations that currently exist. And I think there's like two kinds in my opinion. There's like the first kind where it's like you give it ground truth. In ML areas, we call this supervised. Supervised. Ran out of space. How embarrassing. We'll start over here. There's two kinds, right? You give it ground truth. And so this is more of a supervised thing. And we have GPT-4 similarities. You can see that right here. You see that? So we have this for evaluation. And then the second is more of like I'm going to say internal data structure. You know, this is more of like a unsupervised approach where we're looking at like the stuff you fetched. I say we, like Real Barcelona or sorry, Real Madrid and Barca. I almost made a social faux pas there. Whew. Like we won the game, like we made this. This is the one that I just showed you, where it looks at the consistency between the answer and the internal documentation. And this is a really awesome test because if it answers incorrectly, let it be based on fact. And let the user say, oh, I don't think you understood my question. What I meant was this. And this happens in normal human interactions all the time. Like someone answers with a fact and you're like, oh, no, that's not what I asked. And that's okay. No, shoot. I got to put the walk-off music here. So this is okay, right? And that's why I think like these tests are super important. You should never, I mean, I think it's irresponsible. This is in my opinion again. I think it's irresponsible to put out an LLM application without doing some kind of testing. And then the other thing is these kinds of tests, we can't run when it's deployed, but these ones you can. This is the cool part. These tests you can run while the thing is deployed. Maybe I'll show you how to do that one of these other days, because like as it's deployed, if you set up this infrastructure of, you know, these feel good enough, but then you get a question and the groundedness starts to go down, that means that people are like red teaming or like like there's some black hats out there messing up your prompts and stuff, you could actually go in there and groundedness will go down and you can be alerted. And Darwin, he points out something I think important. He's saying like real GPT-4 read GPT-4 outperforms humans at evals with the correct setup. So there you go. I know we used this when we made the Bing thing, and that's important too. So, all right. So that's what that is. You can create your own evaluation flows. Not only that, you can actually clone them. Let me clone one. And you can change your prompt. Like here's one that tests it. But then the question becomes, but Seth, how then do I test the test? Make another eval flow. And you can do this forever. I mean, that's cool, right? Notice that this is the ground. If you don't like it, change the thing. Change it. And then write an eval test. Like you can batch run this thing to test it. And then you can eval the eval flow. I mean, it's insane. And I think this is the most important part of prompt flow, I think, is that it's designed with evaluation in mind first. That's why it's a little skimpy on the all the magic things that certain SDKs put out that I don't like, because I think they should be tested too. But there you go. All right, my friends. It's been a delightful show. We've been looking all evaluations. We've been looking at all the other good stuff. Next week on the AI show, what do we got going on here? Model monitoring for LLMs. Oh my goodness, this is exactly what I was telling you we should talk about. I guess we're talking about that next week. So next week on the AI show, model monitoring for LLMs. It's been a privilege and a pleasure to be. It's been a privilege and a pleasure to be with every one of you on this, the AI Show Live. Hopefully, we'll see you next time on the AI Show. Thanks for watching, and hopefully, see you next time. Take care.